Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Broadcasting from the Hilton restroom. Of course, just me in here. I want to share 10 cool things, though. 10 cool things that will help you to overcome pain that's in your life. And remember, the important thing is to focus on the stuff that's easy to focus on, because that helps you create momentum. So, for example, there may be a whole series of circumstances that you don't prefer in your life, but let's look at easy stuff you can get out and transcend. Starting off with stuff like disease and cancer. There's a lot of desire to manage disease, and help people, but what about looking into the root cause? This is preemptive medicine, and it's a fun way to work on things, considering a vegan diet where you're not experiencing, shall we say, the pain and suffering and maybe karma of these hurt animals. Not to mention that they're not that healthy to eat, dead meat in your body, you know what I mean? So, and me being vegan, and this is number 2, I don't prioritize animals. Some people are to animal rights, maybe they be vegan, maybe there's specific animals that they want to support, like cats and dogs, etc., endangered species, but I don't feel like, first of all, I feel like humans should be looked out for by the government more than extinct, almost, endangered species should ever. Why would we focus any resources and effort towards them when we can help our fellow man? Maybe if the world is great, maybe there's the luxury of doing such things like that and having pets, but for now I feel like people, need help first. And so that's number 2. Obviously, it's easy to humanely have your pet put down or give it back to the dog pound or whatever place it is. And it's very convenient to do. We're talking about stuff that easily allows you to unencumber your life, make your life better. And let's go there. Let's go to number 3. How it is that we can deal with people that upset us throughout the day. Part of it is the way you describe people. If you describe someone as your authority, be it parent, mother, father, uncle, boss, grandparent, older sibling, and so on, you get what I'm saying, right? If you're describing somebody as somehow higher on the hierarchy than you are in your life, then, or even such things as a deity or whatever, then you're going to expect that person to take care of your needs, your emotions, your desires. And what happens is if they don't do that, then you end up feeling unhappy because they're not fulfilling that. And even if they do fulfill that, how can you feel empowered? How can you feel truly rich if somebody else gives you an encouragement, somebody else gives you a nice piece of jewelry or a car, anything that you want? Well, what happens is they're giving it to you, and it doesn't feel like a trophy. It doesn't have meaning for you. And it's important to get that meaning out of life, to realize that the only way you're going to feel that satisfaction and accomplishment isn't by looking out there and thinking that, oh, if I just had, a nice apartment or anything, or went on a vacation or anything, that would truly bring you a sense of, man, I feel great, I have an identity. And this will be number 4, when you place your identity in all these costly things, like think that the only way I can enjoy or feel fulfilled is if I have this expensive item, then guess what? You're putting a high price on your joy. I find you can get joy and connectivity with people just by dressing nicely and maybe playing music out of a speaker or on the street, Of course, being careful for potentially threatening people, but ultimately what you're doing is you're actually making good. You're making positive things happen in your life. And the reason being that you're making a choice that, okay, this is how I'm going to live my life, and not hoping that someone will confirm that, like somebody say, oh, my favorite type of music is this, and you know what type of music you like, and thus you should be able to know everything else. You should be able to discern that, this is something I also value, or and so on and so forth. And instead of hoping that someone will confirm that for you, define for you what should be a priority in your life. And when you're your own authority, you're able to walk by yourself and actually get creative. Ultimately, creation is a personal thing. It's individual. It's something that you do when you're all by yourself and you're actually making something, making your world. And what you're doing is you're actually putting effort into things, and that effort is attracting other things for you. It's attracting good things in your life. It's attracting whatever you want, that effort. And that'll be number 4. That if you want a certain thing, then you've got to put out the equal amount of energy in order to get it. So if you want a specific thing in life, then you're going to have to put out that same energy. And that's easy to do. All you've got to do is put out more energy. No, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, for example, even if you're just doing something that, picking up trash around the neighborhood, being a kind, sociable person, that's going to attract stuff into your life. And you don't need any certificates or even payment to do that. See, we're talking about energy. And this may be a little abstract or spiritual, you might think, but it's my feeling that as long as your basic needs are met, you've got to get creative. And by the way, that'll be number 5. That you really do not, like I was saying in number 4, wanting to create your own world. Meet your basic needs. This is number 5. Meet your basic needs. Satisfy your desires. And number 5, I'll focus on that, desires. And of course, your wants. And desires have to do with one's attraction to other people, it's sexual desire, and the way to manage it or satisfy that wanting is actually to be intimate with yourself, self-intimacy, masturbation, to achieve an orgasm that allows you to, in a way, activate that second chakra. And that nice stairwell there. Activate that second chakra and put yourself in a power position, because that's where you always want to be. You want to be empowered, not hoping that other people will take care of your needs. And so let's look at other areas of pain in your life. How do you go beyond that, right? Pain might be walking around in the street and you see someone and try to be nice and they're not nice to you. Well, first of all, with strategy and intelligence, we can overcome that emotional discomfort. Part of it just has to do with breathing. I'll make this number 6. The act of breath. Deep breathing. When you're upset, the simple process of breathing is the real issue. It's lack of proper breathing that makes you continue to be upset. It's as simple as that. And of course, you want to get yourself out of precarious situations, but you also want to, number 7, use your mind to organize. So you might feel upset, you might think about something after the fact. How about doing this? How about making in your mind a mental image of people smiling and feeling good and beam brilliant white light on them. That's another easy thing you can do. That'll be number 8, you know. But number 7 being that see people in your head smiling. If someone upsets you or offends you, see them happy. And connect that to this idea of that some people do is a visualization of bright white light, where you're beaming people, like it's like as if I'm beaming, see people across the street, like as if it's a white light laser, and this creates, I would say, an effect of it charges people up. It makes them, you know, inspired, and this is all, and it may do that, right? This is all more abstract, but it definitely does that to you. It makes you feel like there's positivity and light in the world. And number 9 is to just simply dress yourself a certain way, talk a certain way when you can, because that also identifies you and will attract certain energies in your life and whatever it is that you might want. And this isn't to say to judge people and think you're better than them, but to that you, if someone's mean or dressed in thuggish or whatever it may be, to actually think that, you know, this person might be a threat to you, and it could almost be a compliment to them that you seem threatening, and so they might actually want to be putting that off and maybe come from an environment where it's you know, you have to fight for yourself and be a little aggressive. So with that in mind, you know, you start to formulate a perspective that, or maybe there's a reason that people are the way they are, and not knowing, you know, people don't choose to be bad people. It just you know, having unity consciousness and thinking that it's all us and that we're all part of the equation. It actually, it makes you, it'll do is it'll make you feel like, you know what, I can do something. And at the end of the day, it's all about feeling good, because with that positive energy, you can create. If you're in a bad mood, don't force yourself to get out of it, but take steps to. Don't hope anyone else will. Don't hope somebody else will say sorry to you, apologize, or perhaps forgive you, or anything like that, because all that does is it makes you dependent on what they do. And I'll conclude with number 10, you know, easy ways. These are all easy things one can readily do to transcend. 10 is a great one. I like the idea of just making sure that you are using the seek space and give space process, where if people are upset or you're upset, give the person space and seek space for yourself. Don't hope that they'll say that, okay, you know, you can leave, you know, and this has to do with all situations. Like, and by the way, remember that you want to be friends with people. You don't want to be hoping that they're gonna be your authority, or that they want to be your authority, like terms like boss or parent. These are all not useful terms as adults. It's better to be friends with each other, and so on. I talk more about that in my dream team concept, my theory. But the point being is, you know, look out for your own emotions, and it's very possible to do. Thanks for considering. You know, let's just activate all of our own chakras, not hoping that we need others. Know what we want, you know, take time to figure that out. And how about a bonus, number 11? Do something every day. You know, this is something you've surely heard before. Do something each day to make yourself feel good, but it should be something that's not too difficult to do. Like maybe me in my videos, you know, doing this as a fun, it's almost a video journaling for other people to consider too. but anything, a hobby, whatever, something you can, during the difficult times of the day, you can feel good about, and you can look forward to, because it's all about that momentum. And all these things I've shared are easy ways to create that momentum and that positive energy in your life.